welcome to Equity Stories with Inderes. In this video, we will cover Fragbite as an investment together with the CEO, Markus Teilman. Welcome, Markus.
Thank you.
So to start us off, could you please introduce Fragbite to us?
Sure. So what we do is that we develop and adapt different games in the video games industry, and we publish them and on both traditional platforms and also Web3 platforms, and we also produce esports content and arrange or organize esports tournaments. That's in essence what we do. And if we dig a little bit deeper, Fragbite Group is the parent company, a listed company here on Nasdaq First North Growth Market in Sweden. And then we have 5 operative subsidiaries, 3 in Sweden, where we have Funrock and Prey Studios, a mobile game studio that is developing its own IP called MMA Manager 2. And then a recently acquired studio called Fall Damage Studio, which is a AAA studio that is developing a new tactical first-person shooter game called Alara Prime, scheduling for release in Q3 next year. So very exciting times now. It's a tactical first-person shooter game with 2 attacking teams and 1 defending team. So it's actually 3 teams with 4 players in each team. Then we have Fragbite AB, subsidiary that is organizing Swedish esports tournaments. Just now, Swedish CS2 Cup, for example. And we are also helping larger consumer-facing brands that wants to market themselves towards the esports audience. So we have that under a separate brand called Config. So it's an agency business. So we're helping, for example, Philips to market their Philips One Blade. So we have created Philips One Blade Cup for them, for example. Then in France, we have Playdigious. That is a company that's been that was founded 8 years ago, constantly growing its top-line growth, but also its profitability. What they do is that they take already published PC games on PC and consoles and enter into agreements with the IP owners and then develop a mobile version of the game and publish the mobile games on different platforms, both on App Store and Google Play Store, but also on different platforms in China. And they have also managed to publish games on the Netflix streaming platform and also Apple Arcade. So it's, of course, with the games that have already been published before on PC and console, we already know that there is an audience and so on. So with that, we are decreasing the business risk a little bit. And just recently, they have also increase their scope of business. So now they are also helping indie games developers to publish games on PC and console platforms as well. And then in the Netherlands, we have Lucky Cat Studios that is developing mobile games and PC games, for example, but targeting the Web3 audience. That means that it's still a normal video game. Can be played mobile, console, mobile and PC, but also with adding a new technical layer, which is the Web3 layer, or so-called blockchain technology. That means that you can own your own assets and you can sell your own assets on third-party marketplaces, should you want to, but not everyone is doing that. But we have the technical component for that.
Yeah, a lot of interesting things going on.
Yes, for sure.
I know Fragbite sort of talks about sort of dividing the business into gaming, esports, and Web3 games.
Yes.
Which one of these 3 do you think has the biggest potential?
Wow, that's a tough question, I would say, because we have just recently acquired Fall Damage Studio, and with this unique game, a tactical first-person shooter game, also with the 3 teams in the game mode, I think that we're touching especially gaming and esports in the same company, so to speak. We have the opportunity to add the Web3 layer as well. I mean, also Web3 is expecting to boom the coming 5 to 10 years. So that's a really tricky question, but should I mention something here to answer your question? I think that it would be in gaming thanks to the acquisition of Fall Damage, but that's also with the help of all the other subsidiaries in our group. For example, our esports company that will help Fall Damage and Alara Prime to increase its audience and market the game when it's ready for launch in Q3 next year. And also bring in the expertise that we have in Lucky Cat and Playdigious, for example, in how to build a strong and loyal and engaged community in how you develop the game further.
Yeah. In general, how do you see sort of the gaming market to develop over the next, let's say, 5 years?
Yeah, so that's also a very good question, because I think that we need to zoom out a little bit and look at the very big gaming market. Gaming market today is the market size is actually larger than the movie, music, and video on demand industry combined together. So it's a huge market. And we see that the gaming market in specific is still growing, although not with that fast pace. If we look at the latest market analysis from Newzoo, we see that now in 2023 the market is expecting to grow by 2.5%, something in the lines of that. And today we have slightly over 3 billion players, but by end of 2026 it is expected that the gaming market will have roughly 3.8 billion players. So the market is still growing by quite some decent numbers, I would say. If we look at the esports market and how the consumer behavior looks like, we see that the players and especially the younger audience, they want to be part in developing the games. And that's how we do it in our Web3 business, for example. We invite them to our community, they can try out the games, and they can submit their feedback on the games. We also see another shift in the consumer behavior is that a lot of the younger audience are actually not only playing games, they want to share their own experience by streaming when they are playing and watching others playing the games and streaming the games. So the streaming itself is a shift that we are seeing, and that's why I think also that our esports business works perfectly well in our group, and especially now with Alara Prime and the Fall Damage acquisition. So to summarize, I think that the market will continue to grow. I mean, from 3 billion players to 3.8 billion players, that's still quite some numbers. And we see also in esports and Web3, these two markets are more immature and will grow at a higher pace than the global gaming market, so to speak.
Yeah. So a large and growing market.
Yes, for sure.
So what would you say then makes Fragbite sort of stand out from other games companies? And conversely, what are your sort of competitive disadvantages?
I think that we stand out because we can meet these three markets as we are seeing them to converge more and more. We are at the forefront when it comes to the Web3 market, although that we are, focusing on actually building great games, games that everyone can play, but you still have the opportunity to own your digital assets in the game should you want to. We have also the capability of helping games to market themselves towards a larger streaming audience by organizing esports tournaments should there be competitive elements in the game. And I think now also with the acquisition of Fall Damage that we can utilize our synergies within the group, can actually take each segment in our group and elevate that to the next level. And we have also diversified our risk a little bit with also having the Playdigious company in our group and their business model with already proven games. That's external IPs, of course, that we are developing and publishing, but of course with a slightly lower business risk. I think that's our advantages. I would also like to mention that in our Web3 space, we are a regulated company. We're not only a listed company here in the parent company, but we're also a regulated Web3 company, regulated by the Gibraltar Financial Services Commission. And not that many companies are actually regulated, but I've seen this in other businesses like online gambling, for example. Like 20 years ago, there was not that much of regulation. Now it's regulations everywhere. We see a local legislation here in Sweden, for example. And I think this will come to the Web3 business as well. And we are here prepared for that, and we have already adopted all the legislation framework to our business. To talk about a little bit about the disadvantages, of course, we have been very focused on mobile games historically, and with the changes, especially with Apple, it's harder today to monetize when you're doing marketing campaigns. We've seen that the last 2 to 3 years, for example, with the margins going down as well. What we've done to mitigate this is, of course, we acquired Lucky Cat in the Netherlands, and then we brought back MMA Manager 2 from an external publisher so that we could, of course, improve our margins instead of paying someone else externally. We help each other within the group. So Lucky Cat is helping Funrock and Prey Studios to market MMA Manager 2. That's one thing. And of course, it's about diversification of our revenues. And I think also that's one of the reasons why we brought in Fall Damage to the group now, because that can give us a hyper growth and also with a high profitability with the group, but also utilizing all the synergies within the group. So yes, that's how I would summarize that.
Great. So let's move on to strategy. So first off, what is Fragbite strategy?
I think what I already mentioned now, that we are active in all these 3 segments, gaming, esports, and Web3. And of course, with esports and Web3, that might be targeting a little bit more towards the younger audience. We're definitely at the forefront when it comes to Web3 development. So when the market is more and more ready and mature, we will be there to meet the demand. But also now with the acquisition of Fall Damage, we definitely can utilize all the synergies within the group. I mean, it's a highly competitive game. Imagine Manchester United and Manchester City, that will be the 2 attacking teams, and then you have one defending team like Liverpool. It's not like only running and shooting in the games. It's also about the tactical elements. How am I, as a Manchester United player, thinking about Manchester City, the other attacking team? Will they try to backstab me or something like that? Or shall we both try to conquer Liverpool? That's one thing. And with the strategies implemented in the group, where we help each other and to utilize all the synergies by creating a stronger and growing community, live streaming content, for example, and also with the ability to add the Web3 technology layer. I think that we are here to both short-term make sure that we can continue to increase our revenues and profitability, but also in the longer term, once the market will continue to grow, we are here to meet the demand.
What would you say is sort of the biggest risk and challenges for you to be successful with this strategy?
I think that one of the risks, of course, is that we need to make sure that we have the right games and IPs that are interesting enough to be played by the consumers itself. Of course, it's a bet to operate this widely, but we see this as an advantage. And of course, to acquire a company like Fall Damage that has now less than a year till the release of the Alara Prime game. Of course, we don't know how the game will perform once the game has been released, but that's the nature of the business with developing new games, I would say, with every industries. I mean, even as a music artist, for example, you don't know if your next single will be good enough, or your next movie on Netflix, for example. But we have run extensive player tests for Alara Prime, for example, with great outcome and great feedback from the players. Both a larger play test, we did one play test like 3 years ago with over 6,000 players participating, and 98.5% say that they want to participate in the coming play tests. We did one closed play test like 2 weeks ago that was expected to last for 1.5 hours, but after 9 hours we had to stop the players because it was only way after midnight, and we told them that we need to go home now, we need to work tomorrow as well. But the players that participated in this playtest, they really liked the game, and they were only playing one map for 9 hours. I think that says something about the game itself. But of course, still, we will see in the future how successful the game will be. But we need to be very close to the community and collect their feedback. What do they expect from us? And I think that's how we will mitigate the risks as well and be very data-driven as well.
Yeah. How does Fragbite sort of look on now balancing growth versus profitability? Which one are you prioritizing?
Yeah, in the short term, it's definitely profitability. I think cash flows is very important now in this market. We successfully managed to also raise some capital now in conjunction with a Fall Damage acquisition. So now it's more of making sure that we will release the game on time in Q3 next year. But with that will also give us new opportunities to really show the hyper growth with a high profitability as well. So of course we are always, that's a constant day-to-day job to overseeing our overhead cost. And we can already see that synergies thanks to the acquisition now of Fall Damage by first of all, we moved into their premises. The Swedish entities moved into the premises of Fall Damage. There we are saving some costs. We are saving some other overhead costs and so on. But also to streamline the operational framework as well to operate more efficient and so on. So short term, I would say profitability, but we will of course make sure to I mean the highest goal is to grow our revenues, but with profitability as well.
Great. Thank you, Markus, for joining us here today.
Thank you very much.